How to be able to make easy bows. It's one of the number one questions that I get all of the time. How do you be able to make this bow and this bow? And so I've got three easy bows that we are going to do today. And hopefully you find this and you're like, that is super simple. So let's go ahead and dive into this month's bonus tutorials from me to you. Welcome, welcome. As always, I've got my coffee here. This very first one we're going to do is ones that I really like to be able to do whenever I was doing paint parties. And I will also be sharing with you guys some of my resources of where I get my bow making materials. So all my ribbon and those kinds of things. So this first one here, I absolutely love. I actually use these for wood beads as well. And I get this actually off of Amazon, and it is a twill tape ribbon is what it's called. It's 50 yards, super good price for it. And it's on Amazon. So I use this for a lot of my base with everything. I never get rid of scrap fabric ever. And so I've got this here, and I will show you guys exactly what I do. There's nothing fancy with this. But what we are going to do, I'm kind of working on some 4th of July and summer type things for door hangers myself and different signs that we are doing. So you're going to get a piece of fabric. I love working with a really thin cotton. And all you're going to do is just clip it. For those of y'all that have been around a while, you probably have seen me do this a time or two. And then we're just going to rip it. And it gives us a really nice little frayed edge. And you'll have, things left over here. You can just pull that out, those little strings there, and kind of clean that up a little bit. Or you can cut them off if you would prefer. So that's what I usually do for that. And then we are going to cut them into strips. And then like I said, you guys, I never throw away anything. So I had a pair of jeans I didn't wear anymore, and I actually stenciled white stars on them. I had this left over from last year's creations, and I mean, look at this. But I absolutely love these three colors together, and so this is what we are going to make a bow with. Are you ready? So here we go. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and cut this up into little small pieces here. You're probably looking at around 6 inches. I am not somebody who measures. Could be closer to 8. So I'm just going to cut this up. Basically what we're doing here is making a just an old-fashioned rag bow without any kind of extra tools. You can buy tools to be able to make rag bows with. So you absolutely can do that. I've got 2 of these strips here that I am doing. And so I'm just cutting these up. I've already prepped the other bows so you guys didn't have to watch me cut, but I wanted to show you guys how I rip the fabric and get those really nice little frayed edges. And now let's do our denim here. Obviously this isn't like, a great piece. But probably better cut that. That didn't work out so well. Welcome to real life tutorials. But I just thought this was really cute with the denim and the stars on it. And we can, out of just this little small piece here, we can get several little pieces of fabric to be able to put into our bow. And just something that's really cute to be able to do. Everybody loves denim, right? It's okay if you still have the seam. These do not have to be perfect, or even actually the same size, because we can trim them up. We've got that. I'm going to put a couple of other pieces of denim that are not stenciled as well. And I know this looks like a hot mess right now, but it makes just the cutest bows. So we're not really caring if they're even, they have frays on them. We're just making strips of fabric. It depends on, how full you want your bows to be. Obviously, the more fabric you have, the thicker your bow is going to be. I think this is more than enough here of what we need. And basically what we are gonna do is I usually keep things kind of organized here. I'll put all of the same color strips of fabric in a pile. Alrighty. So what we are going to do is we're just gonna start lining our pieces of fabric up and putting them all different ways. So there's really no science to this at all. I definitely have more flannel than I do any of my other. So I'm gonna put about 5 to 6 pieces of this fabric down first, and then a couple of pieces of my other ones. Very, very basic here. Basically what I'm going to do is I am going to split this on both sides. I'm going to grab this up here in the middle. And I'm going to tie it with this fabric here. So you're going to put it on the back side and you're going to tie this really tight. And what you have is just a cute little rag bow. You can kind of adjust this. Basically what I would do if I was going to attach this to a sign, I would kind of come up underneath here and staple it on, or you could also use glue. You can come in here and kind of, you could have added more denim or anything like that and just kind of, you know, trim this up if you want to make it a little bit more even everywhere. I always just kind of like the messy look, especially, I mean, can't you guys see this on a patriotic 4th of July? I just think those are really cute. And that really the pom-pom bows are back in style now on things. These are something kind of fun that you can even switch out of signs for the different holidays with different colors. Put a little clip there or even Velcro and be able to, that way they can get different bows to be able to go with their different signs that they have. So if they have like a welcome home, you could do these in 4 different colors, you know, for the winter time, summertime, fall, and Christmas, and they'd be able to switch those out. So this is a really cute little just fun, easy bow, and these are also really great to be able to do for your classes. You can just have a whole bunch of different kinds of fabrics cut up and let them pick out like 4 different types of fabrics and then be able to attach those to. So this is one of my favorite little easy, super easy bows to be able to do. Let's go to another bow. This was actually my go-to bow whenever I was doing paint parties. So basically what I would do is if they wanted to have a bow, they would pick out their 4 different types of material that they wanted. And then this is super, super simple, okay? You're gonna cut a piece here that's gonna be close to probably about 16 inches, give or take some. And we are going to fold this in half, like that. And we are gonna flatten this out. I prefer wire edge ribbon, especially for my base and at least 1 or 2 of the other pieces that we're putting on here. All right, and then we're gonna do kind of something similar that we did with the other. I am gonna make a crisscross pattern here. I love being able to use the lattice, so I usually will have this for all the different seasons. This is definitely more of a 4th of July type bow. I like to kind of fancy mine up by doing the little dovetail. So you know, if you have those there, you're just gonna trim off the edge at a slant. Oh, I do that every time backwards. At a slant, not every time, but more frequently than not. And at, nope, at a slant. I have to really, I don't know why, I have to just really stop and think about that every time I go to do it. So you can put little fancy dovetails on them if you want. I'm just going to kind of offset where my other X is at. And then I'm going to come back here with this. I'm going to grab this again, I use this a lot. These are something that is super, super simple to be able to do. You could also use zip ties if you wanted to, or like pipe cleaners. We're just gonna grab this from the back and we're gonna tie this again, just like we did our other one. I wanna grab this kind of in the middle and I wanna bunch it. And then we're gonna tie this really tight in our bunch. Keep it bunched up as you're pulling that in. You'll get better at it. I'm just gonna tie a little double knot here. This material here, you could cut it if you wanted to, but it actually goes with the bow. And then what you're gonna do, see how this here is? This is why I prefer like the wire ribbon to it, because you can really pull this out and be able to maneuver. This here is a wire ribbon, and so is this, and actually these are too. So we just kind of move this around. That's kind of why I like the wire, because we can crinkle it and move it about. But this was my go-to whenever I did paint parties. They're just something kind of fun and easy to do, and it's just a cute little bow. It's nothing, you know, super, super fancy, but you can add in more if you wanted to make it fuller for yourself. But it definitely, if you're doing any type of paint parties or anything like that, these are just simple. It's something that they can do within your class as well. But isn't that cute? So anyway, that's just really, really simple. Not a whole lot of prep time with that. You can make them as big, as much fabric as you wanted. You could keep going. Also on the back side, you could take a couple of other bigger pieces and roll them around to make a bigger bow on the outside with these pieces here. So you could do the exact same thing, the same pattern that we do with all of the other fabric, and be able to make your bow a little bit bigger in there. But I just think those are so cute. You can trim this up. Super, super simple bow, and hopefully you guys like that and it can go on your projects. So there is another one. So these two here are the really simple bows, and we've got a third bow. I've got to do a shout out to who I learned this from. I do it every time, but I did learn this from Katie Tennis. So if you guys don't know her, go check her out on Junk to Jewel. Yes, she is amazing, and that is where I learned this from. These are definitely ones that are perfect for the creations that you are making. What you're going to need for this is however much fabric that you're wanting to be able to do, but I'm going to show you the ones that I have used. I've got 4. I usually like to do 2 or 4. I keep even numbers with them. So I've got 4 of the stripe, 2 of the polka dot, 2 of the green, and you will want wire ribbon with this as well. 2 of the lattice, and then 4 of a solid. It's usually good to stick with 1 or 2 patterns and then have some solids put in there as well. Isn't this a really pretty color scheme? I thought it would be kind of summery here. What we're going to do is we are going to take all of our pieces here, and one at a time we're going to make a little bow type bouquet kind of thing. So we're just taking our colors and we're placing them about. Okay, you are going to take this and you are going to fold it in half and then squeeze. No twisting, no turning, just squeeze it. All right, same thing. This one here is a little bit floppy, so I'm going to have to make that one not as big. Okay, grab another color here. Halfway again. We're just kind of placing our pieces around. I'm going to do a solid in here again. And we're just squeezing and holding. Your fingers will kind of get a little bit tired if you have a lot. I'm going to place this back in here. So we're just making, you know, kind of placing our ribbons around, and we'll have time to be able to maneuver these about as well. Okay. I'm going to grab another solid and put it back in here. I've got 4 of these and 4 of the striped ones. So I'm going to use those a couple of extra times. Okay. Go back with my little green. So see, I wouldn't want to put like my green right there side by side. So we're going to come in and put the green over here on this side. And then I've got my polka dot here. So I'll probably want to put a polka dot in over on this side. So we're just basically building together here. Sometimes I might even have too much once I get started in. As I'm looking at it, you know, I might not use everything. I feel like we need another one of those. My little fingers are starting to get full. And my thumb, it does start cramping after a little bit. Again, you'll want to use wire, fabric wire, or ribbon with wire in it for this one here. It'll just hold its shape. Obviously, again, you guys, you can make these as big as you want them to be. Denim would be really cute put into this one too. I just love, you know, different patterns. See, I've kind of ended up with a couple of the same one side by side. So what I'm gonna do here, that one came out, and the little hand, I'm gonna grab me another little piece of lattice, maybe. I'm at the end of my rope. And I will give you guys my resources here in just a second as well. So the end of that is not looking too swell, but I need just a little bit of extra green right in there. Okay, now here's where the magic happens. It's okay, we are not going to, like, this is not going to be finalized yet, but we are going to take our zip tie, and we are going to wrap this around so we can get our hand a little bit of a break. As you guys can tell, I've about extended out my finger length as close as it can get. And I'm just going to tighten this up right up underneath here. And then that way I can go back in and look to see, do I have it where it needs to be? Does it, some pieces like this here kind of needs to be pulled in, right? So we need to kind of pull these in a little bit and make sure everything's attached and it's at where you like if you feel like a piece needs to be pulled out, you can just kind of arrange it in there, okay? So I think this is looking pretty good, don't you? What I'm gonna do is we're just gonna tighten this on down. We will clip off the edge here. And what you have is yourself a really pretty bow. So now we have all of these tails over here. What you're gonna do is just kind of split. So we've got burlap here, we'll put burlap over here and here. Again, you can do dovetails on the ends. You can, you know, slant them. You can leave them plain. Whatever you do on one side, you just probably will want to do on the other. But you will fan them out, and this will even make your bow bigger. So you're just going to fan these out and putting them on each side, and this will make your bow even bigger there. Now basically, whenever I go to attach these, what I like to do is I'll come up right up underneath and I will staple, and then I'll just push this around. How cute is that? And you guys can imagine if you did your dovetails, I would definitely, you know, be doing that for especially this, you know, really nice like 2-inch ribbon here. We would definitely want to, had to think about it again, want to do the fancier edges. It just really kind of finishes out your bow. But you'll flip those around, you'll bring this and you'll want to probably staple in, like underneath here, staple that in real tight, probably on both sides since this is such a big bow here. And then you'll be able to, be able to fan this out. If you're selling these online, one thing that I would recommend if you are going to be making big bows for door hangers or anything like that, you might want to put a little card in that says, please fluff me, because sometimes whenever shipping, all of this will be flat and it doesn't look nearly as pretty. So I would definitely probably put like a little care bow or a care thing in with your bow about how to be able to fluff it out to get the best out of the bow that you have done. So, but as you guys can imagine, these are just super cute on door hangers, and you can just go to town making them as big as you want. So again, all that you need for this one here is like 2-inch and some 1-inch wired ribbon and a zip tie. And then you get the look of really a nice big professional bow. Places where I get my bow ribbon stuff from is the Amazon for this here, for this type of fabric. Usually I will get like the bigger rolls of burlap from Walmart or Hobby Lobby. And then wholesale, I like Nashville Wraps and Burton & Burton. Both of them have really high quality ribbon. So this one here that I got in is from Nashville Wraps. So that's that one there. And Burton & Burton's package looks like this. And so that is where I get them. They are both wholesale ribbon. Their ribbon is more expensive, just putting that out there, but it is such good quality ribbon. I mean, it is fantastic. And the wire in it's just nice, and it just holds its form, and you can even just tell it. So those are the two suppliers that I like to use. I get that a lot about that. And so again, we got our big fancy bow that is great for our big door hangers. We've got our super simple ones that are just easy to be able to throw onto our signs or great for your paint parties. And then these here are just something that's kind of fun, great for interchangeable ones, or even in a class for people to be able to do themselves. I love all three bows. All three of them serve very different purposes within my own paint business. And if you would, please send me a picture of one of these bows that you have done as you get them put onto your sign. We will talk to you later.